Hello everyone, this is very weird. I am now filming on my new camera and I thought, what better way to start off the new year than talk about the books in 2024 that basically I do not want to part with and would die for them. I would die for these books, literally. So we're going to start off. I don't have these in any particular order. I have like 3 different piles, so I'm just going to pick them up. We're going to go through each book, what I rated. Now, if these are the books I want to die, these are all 5 stars, except maybe one or two are 4.5, or they're close to the 5-star mark. But these are the books that if I were to move house tomorrow and I could only bring a certain amount of books from 2024, these are the books that I would bring with me. So first, we're starting off strong with A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Absolutely love this. Everyone talks about this book and how it's the best one in the series. I personally don't think that. I do enjoy it. I think it was 5 stars for me. I absolutely loved it. Loved their story. But this next one is, I think, if I had to rank them in my favourites of the series, I would say ACOWAR is my number 1. Number 2 is A Court of Silver Flames. Number 3 is A Court of Mist and Fury. Then we have ACOTAR, and then A Court of Frost and Starlight, because that's just a little novella. But this book, I absolutely loved it. If you know about the speech near the end of this book, the speech that Rhys gives. Oh my God, it's absolutely brilliant. Next, we're starting off very strong with fantasy. So next is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Absolutely love this. Loved this story. Love Peyton and Kai. I read Powerful in December and I'm so excited to get into Reckless. I think I'm going to hold off and read it in February or March because it's the 3rd in the series, which is Fearless. Comes out in April, so I want to be prepared for that. Next is Call It What You Want by Alyssa Derogatis. I hope that's how to pronounce your name. But this book was a 5-star for me. It's absolutely beautiful. This story is just any girl who's ever wanted a guy who would only give her the bare minimum. I think everyone in their 20s should read this book. I cried multiple times while reading it because I just thought of my 17, 18-year-old self and she just related so hard. Next is Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. I read all of the Boys of Tommen this year. I think every single Boys of Tommen book is included in this. So Saving Six follows Joey and Aoife. Won't go into too much about their story. Next is Redeeming Six, which is also, these two are Joey and Aoife's story. So you have Saving Six and Redeeming Six. So these are Joey and Aoife's books. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely heartbreaking. Loved it. Of course we have to have Elsie Silver. Wild Love by Elsie Silver? Elsie Silver is absolutely amazing. It is her new series. It is Rose Hill, I want to say. Wait, now I'm going to double check because I could be wrong. Rose Hill. So this, basically, if you've never read Elsie Silver before, Elsie Silver has the Gold Rush Ranch series, which is her very first series. Then she has the Chestnut Springs, and then she has this new series that has now been started last year. So 2 books in this series have came out, and the 3rd one is coming out in March of this year. So if they're all interconnected standalones, you do not need to read every book in the series, but I would highly advise it because you get kind of snippets of characters in them. So if I was you, I would start with Gold Rush Ranch, even though I didn't. I started with Chestnut Springs. But Gold Rush Ranch, you can see how much her writing has evolved from Gold Rush Ranch to Chestnut Springs, and even now, reading Rose Hill, her writing has just evolved again. She's absolutely brilliant. Her writing is amazing. Next, another cowboy romance is Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. I have read Done and Dusted, Swift and Saddled. I haven't read Lost and Lassoed yet. I have it on my TBR. But I liked Done and Dusted. It was really cute, really fast, really quick, really easy read. But I preferred Swift and Saddled because I think it got into the depths of the characters, like the mental health is talked about. Now, I do wish the mental health was talked about a little bit more than it was, but I really enjoyed Ada and, is it West's story? Yes, Ada and Weston. It's brilliant. I like it. I enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for Lost and Lassoed, and I'm even more excited for Wild and Wrangled, I think it's called, which is the 4th in the series, because we've seen these 2 characters the whole time. Not the male main character, but the female main character has been in all 3 books, but the male character came back in Swift and Saddled, so I'm really excited because there seemed to be a bit of tension between them, and you could see that from their first initial interaction. I was like, this is who the 4th book is going to be about, and it is. Next is Hannah Grace. Hannah Grace can do no wrong in my eyes. She is absolutely brilliant. I would read her grocery list if she would give it to me, because the Wildfire is just amazing. Aurora and Russ's story is so cute. It's set in the summertime. They're at a summer camp. It's very weird. I've never seen a story set in summer camp, because in Ireland we don't have these type of summer camps really. So it was weird to see that. And it's a nice distinction. And there's dogs in it, and it's just, there's a lot of depth to both their characters and the issues that they're dealing with. And I think Hannah Grace does that beautifully when she tackles these really difficult issues that the characters are dealing with, but also making it a really cute romance. So yeah, I'd highly recommend Wildfire. Now, sorry, I need to pick up these ones off the floor. Next we have Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh. This is Gibbsy and Claire's story. So this was the most recent installment. This is book 5 in the Boys of Tommen. But people weren't happy with this one. I personally really, really liked it. I liked Gibbsy and Claire's story. I know a lot of people are annoyed because it was centred a lot around one particular character, which I completely understand because it wasn't her book. But I think as you get further into it, Gibbsy and this other character, I don't want to spoil things for anyone, Gibbsy and this character's story are so intertwined over the years that like she needed to be involved. Her story also needed to be told because Gibbsy's story is nearly in tandem with hers. Now, do I wish the book was just about Gibbsy and Claire? Yes, because there were certain times I was like, would she ever just stop? She just kept giving out. She just kept being annoyed at Gibbsy and just giving out to him. And it was really heartbreaking to see, because then when you see from Gibbsy's point of view what actually happened to him, then you're like, she's giving him basically for nothing. So yeah, people were unimpressed with that. I enjoyed it. I still gave it a 5 stars because I cried multiple times. But I cannot wait for Claiming 10. I'm so excited for Claiming 10 because I want to see how she tackles, because like at the end of Taming 7, it's at very much of a crossroads where we don't know where the friendship group is going to go. So it's really a big cliffhanger as to what's going to happen in the next book. Then we have Powerful. This is just a novella in between Powerless and Reckless. This is from her friend's point of view. What's her name? Adina. This is from Adina's point of view. I thought it was really nice. It was really nice to see what Adina got up to while Peyton was off doing her trials. Are they called trials? I think they're trials. That's exactly what, like, it just shows what Peyton was doing. Not Peyton, sorry, Adina, which was really cute because I really liked their friendship. I thought it was a really nice friendship. Then we have A Court of Frost and Starlight. Read this in December, which is good because it's set around the winter solstice, which is I'm assuming it's their Christmas. But yeah, just quick novella. There's nothing I really need to say about it. It's just a quick novella in between the 3rd and the 4th book. So that's all I'll really say about that. Daydream by Hannah Grace. Another 5-star. Hannah Grace has had 3 5 stars from me this year. This story, Henry and Hallie's story, I think Henry Turner's book has been the most anticipated book of the Maple Hill series, because you see so much of him in Icebreaker and in Wildfire. He's just such a good friend. He's such a good person. And then like just seeing him have his own story where he finds love. And Hallie, she's a book girly. She is a Swiftie. She is all the things for us. But their story is amazing. It just shows that like you do not need to be defined by labels. Like Hannah Grace was very, very vocal about not putting a label on Henry, because obviously there's some intricacies to Henry's personality that obviously if you've read the book, you know that Hallie kind of has an understanding of that from one of her family members. So she's very good at grounding Henry when Henry needs to be grounded. It's just a beautiful story. Their communication is brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Next we have Iron Flame. Now, this is in here purely because I just liked it. I just really liked it. I know lots of people didn't. There's a lot of tropes in this book that pissed me off. And Rebecca Yarros, you really annoyed me with this one, because you could have done so much with this one, but you just had them miscommunicating for like 300 pages. It was really annoying that way. But I'm not going to lie, just because Zayden and Violet were on it, it just made it worth it. It just made it worth it for me to read. So I gave it 4 stars. Fourth Wing was 5 stars. This was 4 stars. I'm so excited for Onyx Storm because it does end on a cliffhanger in Iron Flame. So I'm excited to see what we're going to be dealing with in Onyx Storm, because I'd say it's going to be a shitstorm. And then, this is the last pile. I just dropped some of them, but I'll pick them up in a second, because the last 7, 5 of them are a series. So we're going to go with this one first, because this isn't a series, even though I just talked about Daydream, but it's not in the series that I'm going to talk about next. Icebreaker, 5 stars, one of my first books of the year. I think it was my first 5-star of 2024. Just Nate is the king of communication. Nate Hawkins. Stazzy is so relatable. This whole story, absolutely brilliant. I just can't say more. He plays hockey. She's a figure skater. Take with that what you will. And it's very spicy. I will say that. All her books do have a good bit of spice in them. I personally think, for me. Now, you may not think that, but I do. Now, Sable Peak by Devney Perry. I absolutely love this book. I love the Edens. I will die on that hill. No one can tell me the Edens is bad. The Edens is one of the best series I've ever read, small town series. I absolutely loved it. Sable Peak is the final one in the installment, so it follows all the siblings and their story. So this is Mateo's story, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Just know you need to read the Edens, because the Edens is absolutely brilliant. Devney Perry is the queen of small town romances, as well as Elsie Silver and Lila Sage. Now, last but not least, these are not in order when I put them up, so do not give out to me. Magnolia Parks. Magnolia Parks. This series has me in a chokehold. I think about it every day. I think about Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne every single day. I think about Julian Hates every single day. I want them tattooed on my body. This series is absolutely beautiful. Jessa Hastings, sorry. The way she writes is just so, it's nearly lyrical. It's so poetic. It's beautiful. The quotes in these books are absolutely beautiful. Every book was a 4, if not a 5-star. I think the first Daisy Hates was a 4-star for me. And then every other book, and the first Magnolia Parks and the first Daisy Hates were both 4 stars. And then the last 3 were all 5 stars. And I'd give them 100 stars if I could. They're absolutely beautiful. I loved them. You need to read the Magnolia Park series if you haven't. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting Jessa. She was in Ireland and I got to meet her and she signed 3 of my books. So yeah, these are all the books basically that if I had to move house tomorrow and could only take these books from 2024 with me, these are the books from 2024 that I would take with me to my new house. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hi guys, just Future Jordan inserting this clip here because I was talking about the Boys of Tommen and I completely forgot to mention Binding and Keeping 13, which are my absolute favourites. But yes, they're all the books that I absolutely loved in 2024, but Binding and Keeping 13 are like my holy grail, so I don't know how I forgot about them. I think it's because I moved them from my shelf, from my cub. I have a drawer that I keep my books in, and I moved them from the drawer up to my shelf, so that's why I forgot them. But yes, Binding and Keeping 13 are the best books in the Boys of Tommen series. I would hear no hate for Johnny and Shannon. So yeah.